Hello?
Hello. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you very well, thank you.
Good. Okay, thanks, Inner Fugue. Now we're going to ask a few questions from the level controller, Diana. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And so we'll talk to her, and we have some of her questions that she's chosen for herself, and we'll continue from there. Okay?
Okay. Okay,
Thanks
sounds
again.
good. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks. You're welcome. And let me know when, Diana, let me know when you're out.
Here I am. Hello.
Hi, Diana.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you doing?
Very good. A little excited, a little bit nervous, but feeling good.
Good. Okay, so you ready for the questions?
Yes, yes I am.
Okay. Can you describe who you are?
Sure. My name is Diana, and I am one of three of what they call level controllers. And on our level, that means I handle all communication coming in from different levels. Um, Not myself personally. Right now, we switch over every 4 to 6 months. So the actual altar that's handling that is her name right now. Her name is Grace, and she'll be the next one to come in after me. But anyways, a level controller is somebody who handles the communications and handles communication coming both internally and externally, and decides how and when communication can happen.
Is there anything you want to add that's what your job is specifically?
Um, well, okay, for instance, when I'm in kind of the head chair or I'm the actual level controller, uh, is let's say, for example, somebody from another level wants to come up and be able to communicate with the outside. The first I would be the first person that they would contact. I'd be the first altar they would make contact with and signal that they wanted to come up. And then from there, I route that signal to our level council and to other members of the level that are kind of higher up that then make the decision on whether or not that altar can come up. So I'm sort of the first line of defense for anybody coming up who wants to come outside and wants to speak externally.
So your job is not specific to you, but like a position that you share and trade off with two other altars?
That's correct. Yes, two other altars. Diana, or I'm Diana, but then there's Vivian and Grace. And right now, Vivian is sort of in the second chair of command. If there's any problems or for some reason something happens to Grace, Vivian would be the one to step up. I'm at this point sort of a free agent, so I'm kind of just helping with the other altars with communications and things like that. But I will actually be going into the chair of Vivian next time, and Vivian will be the actual in. She'll be the actual level controller. So yes, I'm sorry to answer your question. Yes, it is a job that is specific to that job, not to the actual altar themselves.
Does every altar have a job, and how are they assigned?
Um, Pretty much every altar has a job, whether or not they perform that job on a regular basis, and most altars don't. There are a lot of altars that are sort of just waiting around to be signaled. Um, it's mostly a predetermined thing. It's just kind of as an needed basis. Altars that were actually implanted they're a little bit of a different story. They usually have very, very specific jobs given to them by people on the outside, as opposed to altars that were created either as part of the infrastructure, like myself, or as part of something that she actually had to create in order to protect herself, which is vastly different than having an altar actually uh, implanted or inputted by an outside source.
Okay. How did you get to have your name?
Um, my name is Diana. I was probably I don't know what ranking I am as far as the level controllers go, but I've been there for a long, long time. I don't ever recall not having the name Diana, so I can't really be real specific about how I got my specific name. But some altars are called things based on things. For instance, we have an altar name up here named Jack, who is actually from the nursery rhyme of Jack and Jill. And we all know what Jack and Jill's fate were. So he's an altar that is actually part of another system that actually is supposed to or was supposed to perform a specific function and carry something out. Um, and his namesake is something that, or his name Jack, is actually part of who he is.
Can you describe how an altar comes out?
Yes. If an altar wants to come out and they are doing it, at least on our level, they have to, there is a specific, it's a very quick thing. It's not like it takes a long period of time. But for the most part, some altars that come out all the time, like myself, um, Ephraim, whom I think you've spoken to before, and a couple of the other altars. Basically, what happens is we have an area, a very specific, what we call a lighted area, where that altar goes, and then a signal is sent to Inner Fugue, who then determines whether or not she's able to let us come out or not come out, and that's how they actually come out. So it's not really a huge to do. It's not that big of a deal. There are some altars that do have to go through a little bit more in order to come out because they're tagged as altars that either have problems or perhaps are going to be hostile to people in the outside. So those altars we try to keep an eye on, and they're not just allowed just to come out whenever they want.
Originally, though, the system was not designed to get Inner Fugue, the front personality's permission to come out. Is that correct? I'm kind of going off the question list here, but I want to kind of make a point that this having to ask her permission is not part of the original plan for the system.
That is correct. Initially, she would experience, I think, altars coming out, or other people would experience altars coming out that weren't going through that process. They were just alter. There are other ways for them to come out. I mean, you asked me specifically how they come out on our level. That's how they come out on our level. But there are many, many, many other ways for them to come out, including people on the outside signaling specific types of altars. Also, just there are other areas within the altar systems that are also lighted that they can just come out. So also sometimes altars literally get squeezed out. I mean, there'll be a certain area of passing of altars, and depending upon where that's at, they can actually kind of get pushed out. And that happens sometimes too, which is usually a problem because usually the altar that gets pushed out doesn't really understand what's happening. So the altar doesn't understand what's happening, and certainly Inner Fugue doesn't understand either. So yes, that's correct. Initially and originally that wasn't so. It was more of they were just kind of coming out sporadically.
Mm-hmm. When the organization wanted them to come out.
At times, yes. Yeah, if somebody was to signal them.
Yeah. What is it like inside?
For myself, it's sort of like going from one light to another light to another light to another light with altars, trying to just sort of help out. You can think of it as kind of a big city, I guess, where, I mean, it's not like we get up and walk around or anything like that, but, it kind of functions that way, where, sort of a circuit board city type thing, where what one altar does affects another altar, and then that signal gets sent somewhere else, and a lot of lights. There's a lot of lights inside.